Winner Home on Afternoon Express, where 3 design contestants are turning 3 empty properties at Valdevie Estate in the Cape Winelands into dream homes using finishes provided by Caesarstone and Plascon. Vote for your favorite and you could win.
Now, tomorrow is the day we reveal the final products of our 3 design contestants' final challenge, the lounge. Now, while Joanne seems to be in a comfortable position to get done in time, Rudolph has decided to make some last-minute changes. And for Minenhle, things have taken a serious turn for the worst. Danila was there to find out more.
It's the last day of the last challenge. Our design contestants are going to have to pull out all the stops in order to win you and our judges over. Let's see how far they've come. Rudolph.
Hi.
How's it?
Yes.
So you have only literally got a couple of hours left until you have to be done at the end of today.
That is
you're
correct.
painting outside. Rudolph, why are you painting your ottoman?
I just wanted to blend with all the beautiful colors that I have within that space, so the rest just actually pops.
Doesn't the paint affect the actual functionality of the ottoman?
No, well, it's basically just a coffee table, so everything you put on it stays on it.
Nice idea. Hoping it works out for you.
Thank you.
What is still left to do to complete the lounge?
Everything's sort of on track. I'm quite happy with the way it turned out. There was one little mishap and I had to jump in and fix it, but I'm sure you will notice that.
What was it? Tell me more.
So after Michelle's visit yesterday, we both decided that the mural must go.
The one on the roof?
Yes.
Wow. But I would have thought that that was the one thing the judges would have maybe liked the most about the apartment.
Well, I actually replaced it with something much more spectacular, so I think they will agree with my decision.
We'll have to wait and see. I guess get back to work. You've got a few more hours. On to Joanne. So at least Joanne is not outside her apartment. Let's see what's going on inside as she finishes off her lounge. Joanne,
Yes.
are you still here?
Yeah, I'm doing some final cleaning.
Ooh, cleaning. It's looking nice. I think it's looking really nice. This hasn't shifted.
No. We tried to put it this way, but it just didn't look right with the kitchen. And the kitchen is a very big part of my whole experience.
So we're going to have to wait and see what the judges think about that, because obviously that was going to be your wow factor, was this. I also see your TV's not even plugged in. Does it even work?
Yes, it does.
It does work. Well, show me. So you will be able to watch all the sport that I want to watch when that thing is plugged in.
Yes.
You're not lying to me at all.
No, I'm not lying to you.
Because little birdies may have told me that your TV is just a prop. Is that a lie?
It may be, but I'm not going to keep it. Just to look at it, see how it's looking in the apartment.
Joanne, you've literally got a couple of hours to finish this apartment.
A TV, you can buy a TV anywhere, Danilo, really. Just around the corner I can buy another TV, so it's not a big issue.
All right. As long as it's all under control, it's looking amazing. All your different furniture seems to be in place. Finish off your cleaning. I want to go see how Minenhle is doing, okay? Minenhle! Looks like things are slowly but surely being put into place here. How's it going?
It's not going as planned. I actually have some bad news for you.
What?
So my car was stolen last night. So yeah, it hasn't been easy for me to move around.
Man.
But that's something I'm just trying not to think about it, because this is the last challenge. So my focus is on the challenge, and I can focus later on getting the car around.
Well, I know you don't want to talk about it, but was there anything in the car that's going to affect the completion of your lounge?
A lot of stuff was in the car, but yeah, some of it affected my progress, but definitely gonna have to keep my head up high and focus on the lounge.
I like that mindset, man, especially after winning the previous challenge. You want to keep your head in the game to make sure that you keep, I guess, pushing forward this design. So is this thing going to be done by the end of today?
I'm hoping so, because most of my furniture is here, but I'm still waiting for my magnificent 4-6 table, which I'm really excited about.
Well, Minenhle, there's always a silver lining on clouds like these. Win the competition, the whole of Winner Home, and you could buy yourself a brand new car. How about it?
Yeah, definitely, that would be great.
Let's keep that the focus. Good luck.
Let me get back to it.
Oh, poor
Shame,
thing.
that's so hectic. Now I'm really
know.
rooting for him.
I know, but apparently he was out in Cape Town city centre and then ran in and then his car got stolen and then came out and... What a
But
horrible feeling.
It's also Murphy's Law too, like when you're faced with one of the greatest challenges that a dream that you really want, that like the worst thing happens to you.
But in that insert, I did, however, spot a velvet green deep buttoned couch. Oh, I'm dying to see what it looks like.
Well, the police have been notified and I do really hope that they find his car. So for now, though, Danilo is on the couch to learn just how important the lounge can be when buying or selling a home.
The lounge and the dining room needs to be inviting. They need to be warm, and it's vital that these rooms are paid special attention to because they are a space we spend most of our time, especially on this show in our loft. Whether it's hosting a dinner party or reclining with friends, family, watching the game, or having a cup of tea, Simon Bray, CEO of Private Property, is back in the loft to give us his expert advice. So we don't like lounging about in the show. It's always jam-packed, full of action. But when it comes to lounging, it does add a lot of value to a property, doesn't it?
Completely. I mean, I think South Africans in particular are very house-proud as a nation. We love to have people in our homes. We like to entertain. You know, as you said, come over for the game, put a braai on,
Ladies
relax.
have
Book club, wine.
Which we know nothing about, do we?
Yeah, so the lounge is a critically important space to any home. It's basically where friends, family, guests, hosts all interact. It's that gathering and meeting point for the whole home.
Yeah, it's like the central point. It's the heart of the home, I think, in some ways. I mean, every room seems to be important. Every time we've spoken, we've said, no, this room is the room.
Yes,
every room is...
upping the ante every single week, But I think the lounge is quite important. I think the trick with the lounge is it can be an incredible space. It can add real value to a home, or it can be a forgotten space.
True.
You know, it can be a couple of pieces of furniture and a TV, and they call that a lounge. So I think there's an opportunity, particularly around the design and decor in a room like the lounge.
Well, take us through that. Like, talk us through your advice and your opinion. What can we do to avoid that space where it becomes the forgotten room?
It's all about flow, I think. It's all about setting the right tone, particularly in our Valdevie apartments. You walk in and you're met with the view of the lounge.
Yes.
It's the first thing you see. It's really going to set the tone for any guest that's coming into the space. And that's often the case with most modern homes these days. You know, you're finding lounge and dining room are becoming more and more of a shared common space as opposed to separate spaces. You know, traditional homes, you'd have the lounge over there and the dining room over there, and it would be a far more formal affair going through to the dining room. Now it's an integrated feel, it's an integrated space. So it's really about how the pieces of furniture in the room, the design in the room creates the right tone, creates that feeling of peace, relaxation, invites people into the home, and creates the atmosphere.
Yeah. Let's go back to that comment you made now about the rooms fusing and merging into one, the dining room and the living room, which I find quite interesting because speaking to you often, I've learned that the more rooms, the more valuable. So how does that affect the price? Should we build a separate dining room or should we leave it as a fused space? Is that turning into be a trendy thing online? People spending more money on it?
Yeah, it's a fascinating question, that, actually, because you're right. Generally, the more rooms you have in a house, the more you can charge for that house. But in the case of the lounge and the dining area, it's completely the opposite. What? Older homes where you've got a separate lounge and a separate dining room are always going to be kind of less valuable. So a great way to unlock value, if you've got an older home like that, is just to knock the wall down between those two rooms. Creates a big space, creates this flow between dining and living in the lounge. And that's far more what modern living is about.
Yeah. Great advice. I think that's amazing for those who are trying to now resell their homes, especially from the guy who knows it's like watching what people are doing online when they are buying homes. Let's talk about our design contestants, because you've mentioned the fact that when they walk into those Valdevie apartments, the first thing you see is those living room areas. And it's going to have to be functional. It's going to have to be warm. It's going to have to be inviting. It's going to have to flow. There's a lot of pressure on them when it comes to this room. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Again, every week we put the pressure on the contestants. Every week we talk up the challenge and say this is the most important room. But this is a very important room. You know, you walk in the door and it's got to say something. So I think definitely looking for some type of talking point, something to set their room apart from the other rooms and their apartment apart from the other apartments. So they're going to have to look at the furnishings. They're going to have to look at how that flows between the kitchen, dining, and lounge space. You can't forget that the kitchen's also integral to the space that's in those apartments.
Yes.
we definitely don't just want to see a great couch and a TV.
And a poof and one of those ottomans somewhere.
Exactly.
Doing
for
more
sure.
than that. You spoke earlier on about trends and the idea that these two rooms are fusing into one. What are some of the other trends that you're seeing in terms of living rooms and dining rooms that people can just take home at home? Because what happens if I am selling my house or maybe I'm looking to buy property? What are some trendy living room ideas?
Well, I think one thing that's important when you're selling your home is this concept of staging. And staging is really a trend that's emerging in South Africa. Previously, you would open up your house on a show day and hope that the agent, doesn't let criminals into the home and you sell the house, right?
Yeah.
Now it's becoming so much more than that. It's about making sure that the home you invite your potential buyers into looks like a home that's ready to invite guests.
Yes.
So you put your best foot forward, and real estate agents are doing a great job of that at the moment. They're understanding what staging concept is all about, and we're seeing it come through, particularly in the lounge and the dining room and the kitchen. So it's about fresh flowers, it's about fresh
Linen
pattern
and
designs
covers
on the scatter cushions. It's about neat, clean, uncluttered spaces.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people forget about that when they're selling their home. Your lounge must look as good as it's ever looked when you invite buyers in. And if it does, then you've got a much better chance of selling the home.
Exactly. If you've got an older child, make sure that they're done sleeping on the couch with their bowl of popcorn there. I've walked into a home to go and have a look at it, and there was someone on the couch just like, hey, man, what's up? I'm like, that's terrible. I really take pride in it.
I've seen property photos with that same guy
Sure.
in the lounge.
I think he gets rented out to do these things. I think this is
exactly.
his job. It's a bad idea. It doesn't sell well. Make sure that you make the space look trendy and new and ready to live in, I think is great advice.
Yeah, and small touches, clear the magazine clutter off the tables. You make sure that there's a couple of nice scatter cushions, a throw over the couch, just something to just add freshness and add life to it. And our contestants so far this season have been incredibly good at staging, so I'm sure that they will be in this challenge as well.
Sure. We should start a new hashtag, which is called Brilliant Advice, because Simon Bray, it's always great chatting to you.
Yeah, now, do I get to own
Commission,
that hashtag?
yeah. Now make sure your living space is clean. Utilize the space well and turn the lounge and dining room areas into the selling point of your home. Simply log on to privateproperty.co.za for more inspiration.
So remember that by voting for your favorite design contestants lounge, you stand a chance of winning paint from Plascon to the value of 5,000 Rand, and you automatically get entered into that grand prize draw where you can win big.
It's not called Win a Home for nothing. You, the viewer, can win one of 3 completed apartments at Valdevie Estate, valued at more than 3 million Rand, by voting for your favorite design contestants lounge on privateproperty.co.za. Win a Home is proudly brought to you by Private Property in association with Nedbank.